You are broke. Why are you partying? You are broke. But don't worry about it. I got 5 ways to become rich in 2024. What's the word, y'all? It's The Entertainment, aka Teezy, and this is TeazyTV. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's my first official video. I'm new to this shit, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. I'm giving out free game. It really helped me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build a platform. But I know what you're thinking. Teezy, how you gonna tell me how to get rich? You not rich. Teezy, how you gonna give me some advice and you ain't got it like that? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I might not be there yet, but I'm definitely on my way. And I like to give game to everybody I know, and I figure why not put it on my platform since I'm trying to take this approach, kind of start this YouTube shit up anyway. So take the game if you want it. If not, show life. But to give y'all a little background about me, I grew up in St. Louis in Texas. I've been homeless twice. I've been in a lot of bad situations, to say the least. I'm not gonna go too much into depth into all that, but just know I'm definitely leveling up. And where I'm at right now, just got me a BMW. I drive trucks. I got my CDL, my Class A. I'm starting in a few businesses, and I've kind of hit a point where I'm done talking about stuff. I'm just doing it. I'm gonna give y'all the steps that I kind of follow to get where I'm at now, because before this, I was fucked up, man. Like I said, I was homeless. I ended up in the hospital. I was couch hopping, moving around. I ended up with my brother in his mama house, sleeping in their basement. And then ended up with my mom in her basement, sleeping in my little sister's bedroom. Now I got my own apartment, like I said, I just got the core. I really upgraded my life. So let's get into it. Step number 1 is self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I know what you're thinking. It's not really too much of a step towards the bossing up your life or getting rich, but it is. It really is. Because they don't teach emotional intelligence in school. They don't teach you how to become self-aware. They don't teach you how to control your emotions, because once you figure that out, you can really figure out what situations to put yourself in, how far you can go, how far you can push yourself for certain aspects, and you can learn from your mistakes. You can learn from, fucking up. You know what I'm saying, to say the least. To give you an example, I used to be real insecure. It got me in a lot of trouble. Anytime somebody told me that, I spaz out, like, nah, you tripping, that's not what it is. But it was. Once I understood that, it allowed me to become a better person and really become emotionally intelligent and really put my best foot forward and understand who I was. Step number 2 is financial intelligence. They don't teach this in school. They don't teach you how to manage your money. They don't teach you how to establish financial freedom. They don't teach you how to do shit like that. They teach you 2 + 2. They don't teach you how to establish that. They don't teach you real life shit for the most part. To give y'all an example about that, I used to be real bad with money. This ain't my first time having money. When I was younger. Just fucking off money. I'm still learning, to say the least, but that's something I'm still working on myself, so it's not an overnight thing. And that's what I want to say about all this. It's not gonna happen overnight. You gotta work on it. That's why it's steps. You can go back, keep revisiting this how many times you need to, write it down yourself, whatever. But anyway, an example, but like I said, I bought 2 cars, bro, and my rent wasn't even paid. Back in the day, I was just fucking off money, going out to the club. I spent my last $500 at the club when I didn't have a place to live. It's really just because I didn't know any better. I was young. I never had no money before. Nobody ever told me, hey, do this when you get some money. Do this when you get some money. No, I got some money and I blew the money. I lost the money. So financial intelligence is definitely a very important thing. At the end of this, I'm gonna y'all through some books and some shit that helped me. So rule number 3 is perception and perspective. This one I learned from one of the books I'm gonna tell you about. So perception and perspective. What that means is you need to have a certain perspective about life. In my opinion, there's no such thing as good or bad. There's lessons and there's blessings. Everything can be learned from. Everything can be used to your advantage. It's about looking at the glass halfway full all the time. That's how you really gonna level up, when you just grateful and show gratitude for everything, the good, the bad. Again, there is no good or bad. When you looking at it like that and really locking into life and understanding, like, okay, I understand shit used to be, but it don't have to be like that today. It don't have to be like that tomorrow. Who you were yesterday does not define who you become tomorrow. I'm living proof. Ask anybody that knows me. And that's another reason why I'm really doing this. To give you an example of perspective, when I was homeless and I hit rock bottom, I think that was probably the most peaceful I've ever been in my life. I know this sounds like what you're talking about, but for real, man, at the bottom, it's like I knew there wasn't no way to go but up. A lot of people probably would have shut down and gave up. For me, it just made me like, maybe understand, like, I don't want to be here. Once I really switched up that perspective of like, okay, when things happen to me and, people left, relationships didn't work out or whatever the case may have been, I really locked in and I got to it. I really looked at shit for what it is and what I was gonna make it, not for what it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. It meant a lot to me. So you gotta keep growing, you gotta have that perspective of, okay, Let me just keep on going and keep on moving forward. Now, perception. I learned this from Curtis Jackson's book, 50 Cent. Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder, or Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I don't know which way it went, but that book is a very good book. That's actually one of the books that I was going to recommend to you at the end of the video. I went ahead and said it now because, you know, we're talking about perception. He said something in that book about why he dresses the way he dresses. It makes a lot of sense. Earl Nightingale said, man becomes what he thinks about all day. When I heard that, like, okay, perception can be internal. It's also how others perceive you, but it starts with you. And that kind of goes back to step one, self-awareness and emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It really starts with, how do I see myself? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be? Where am I headed? Where am I going? And once you get that locked in, it should become a lot easier for you. It's all about how you carry yourself, how you speak. Stand up when you shake somebody's hand, look them in their eyes. That's what I did. An example of perception for me in the time that I used it really was when I switched my life up. That's really when I first used the art of perception. I used to be whatever I was. And once I really made the decision, like, I don't want to do this no more, I got to get out this box. It worked, you know what I'm saying? I really became this man that I wanted to be, and I'm still growing. It's not a stop point. It's only, everything is a stepping stone. I started taking care of my body. I started taking care of my hygiene. I was fucking with the sea moss. I don't know if you hip on that. If you're not, I can make another video about that shit. But eating right, I was working out all the time. Now it's kind of harder because I drive trucks, but taking care of myself and treating myself like the person I wanted to become. Step 4, patience and forming a plan. And this is probably the most important step of all of them, okay? Patience, I still have a problem with patience. Patience is not an overnight thing. That shit is hard as hell to figure out. That shit is very hard to figure out. With that being said, because you might have heard that and be like, fuck, I ain't got that. Me too. It's very important. Flowers don't chase the bees. Flowers grow. That did it for me. You have to be patient. You have to take time to grow. That alone follows all 3 steps prior. It's easier said than done. It's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna watch this video and then be like, fuck, I got it. It's not gonna work that way. You have to work on yourself. You have to do it. You have to. Think of it like this. If you hurt and you keep on going hurt, but you keep rushing, you end up right back where you was at. And it also goes for the people around you. And you keep going hurt, they're not coming here, they're not closing the gap. You can't close that gap for them. You're gonna get fucked up every time. I'm trying to tell you. Now, forming a plan. I heard Will Smith say in an interview one time, he said, instead of building a wall, you try to build this big, pretty wall. Focus on laying a brick as perfectly as you can every day. Just take it day by day. When I heard that, it really changed my perspective. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with patience. My life used to be real fast paced. I'm 22. Grew up in St. Louis in Texas. I was born in Oklahoma. I've lived in Kansas and fucking LA for a little bit. I've been all over. I've had 3 apartments now, 6 cars. I've been homeless twice. Patience was really a big thing that I had to understand. And if you got patience already, you winning. You a quarter way there if you got patience. Congratulations. Step number 5, dedication and sticking to it. Now, what does that mean? Exactly what the fuck I just said. After you have learned to become self-aware, and you form some kind of emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, altered your perception of yourself and your perspective of the world. You've learned patience and you've learned how to form a plan. Now it's time to dedicate yourself to that plan. Stick to it. It might sound easy, it sound good. That shit is hard work, man. If you got a plan to lose 200 pounds or 100 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is, or to stack up $10,000 and you making $7 an hour, shit's hard work. You might, for a week, okay, yeah, I'm ready, let's get it. And after that week where you don't see no progress, that'd be the hardest part. And that's where patience come back in. Because you got to be able to get over that hump of, all right, man, I'm not seeing nothing, ain't nothing coming from it. You got to get over that hump. You got to be dedicated and you got to stick to your plan. I'm telling you, and sometimes plans change. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the first to tell you, plans definitely change sometimes. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got to adjust. You got to rededicate yourself and you got to stick to whatever you said. Stop talking about shit and just do it. Just do it. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Stop talking about shit and do it. Let me tell you a secret. Stop telling people what you gonna do. Don't nobody give a fuck if it's not benefiting them. Don't nobody give a fuck if it's not benefiting them. Everybody don't care. Everybody not voting for you. Everybody not rooting for you. Everybody is not on your side. Dedicate yourself. Keep it to yourself. Be patient and stick to whatever the fuck you said. It's gonna work out. I promise. I'm a walking testimony. Life gonna come with ups and downs, but as long as you got that perspective, you'll be alright. Because you understand, okay, this is not a bad thing. It's just a lesson. There's something coming from this. I get to grow from this. I get to learn from this. Some books that I want to recommend to you. I'm a big fan of Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, Laws of Human Nature, Law of Seduction, and then you should go to the 33 Strategies of War, and then you should end it with the Mastery. I hope y'all learned something from this. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Like I said, man, it helped me out a lot. I'm new to this, so just bear with me. But yeah, there's 5 ways to get rich in 2024, man. And if you don't want to listen, and you don't want to take no advice, that's fine. It's your life. And I got mine, you got yours. Stop trying to control other people. Sometimes you gotta focus on you, and they gotta focus on them. Y'all gotta meet up in the middle. Just cause y'all separate, that don't mean it's the end.